Just before we get started with the press conference today, a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. Last night, our Bronco family lost a very special supporter in person in Maggie Preedom. During my 9 years here as the Bronco coach, she was a consistent at every chalk talk, every booster club function that we had, and very passionate about Bronco hockey. And 2 weeks ago, we had a chalk talk session, and I remember talking with her at the end of it as she was waiting for her handy van to pick her up. She was in a wheelchair, and just had a great discussion. And some of the other things I remember about Maggie is my first few years here, we seemed to have a tendency to take too many men on the ice penalties, and she wasn't afraid of bringing that up in front of all the other boosters and just wanted to know what the heck I was doing on the bench there and why we took those penalties so much. But she'll be missed, and obviously Bronco hockey was a big part of her life, and she was a big part of our program. The other thing, on a more positive note, Mike McCann. Mike is leaving us. This is the last press conference, I understand, and you're moving on. And I've had the good fortune in my over 40 years in the game to work with a lot of quality people on the media side of the business, and I've never worked with a better one. And just your questions, your professionalism, and it's a loss for our athletic program here at Western because you've given us great coverage, and it's a big loss for Channel 3 as well there too. But want to wish you all the best in the future there.
Thank you. All right. Coach, the Broncos are coming off a split against number 4 Minnesota Duluth, one of the best teams in the country, and 2 very tight and hard-fought games.
Yeah, the 2 games against Minnesota Duluth were tremendous hockey games. Obviously, you come out of the one with a win. You're pretty excited. You play the second game and you lose it, and you're disappointed. Obviously, 1-1 game and kind of an unfortunate situation late in the game. We lose 2-1, but you sit back yesterday, you watch both games back, and you just appreciate the commitment of the players on both teams. It was physical, intense, hard-nosed hockey. Guys were going to the net hard. Guys were battling one-on-one. Our effort in both games was outstanding, as was Duluth. I mean, they won the last 2 national championships for a reason because they compete and they battle hard. But our team was right there with them. And, just the energy in the building. I don't know when we've had better energy at a hockey game than the 2 games that we had here against Duluth. I mean, the building was packed. They were standing on top of each other, and our players were excited to play in front of that type of crowd. And, it does prepare us now to go to North Dakota because we're going to face the same thing this coming weekend when we play North Dakota. But, again, shout out to our players for their compete level here, and we would have liked nothing better than to have won both games against Duluth. And we'll park that loss on Saturday and move on and prepare to play, obviously, with their record, the best team in the country right now.
You had them here in this building when they were here earlier in the season, and it slipped away. Is there any chip on the shoulder, payback kind of thing that you see from your guys going into this series?
Well, the 1-0 game that North Dakota beat us on in November here, I mean, we had 41 shots on their net. They'd been giving up an average of about 21 up to that particular game, and our guys battled, played hard. We couldn't beat Shield, their goaltender. They got a goal at the last minute overtime, and we don't get any points for the whole night there, and they're moving forward. But I don't think there's any chip on the shoulder. I think there's a mutual respect level between the teams. I think there's a mutual respect level between the coaching staffs. I've got a lot of respect for Brad and his staff, and I believe they have the same feelings about our crew here. So North Dakota's trying to clinch the opportunity to win the Penrose Cup for the regular season championship this weekend. It's going to be their senior weekend, so they've got a lot of quality seniors, great people, hardworking players in their team. And our team likes to play at North Dakota. I mean, this time of the year, that's what you want to be playing, are the best teams in the country, because you want to be playing them again in about 3 or 4 weeks. And we're going to have our work cut out for us, there's no question, but we have won at North Dakota before. They know that, we know that, but there's no chip on the shoulder. It's just mutual respect.
Thank you for the segue there. You are one of the few programs that has had success in that building. What do you think the reason is?
Well, I think one of the reasons we have had some success in their building is the fact that if you're not ready to play, you could get embarrassed. And that's a pretty big fear factor there that motivates you to play well. And, great crowd. And, we certainly, they're going to come there to be ready to party and celebrate their seniors. And hopefully they want a regular season championship. But, we're going to go there and play hard and compete. And we're going to need solid goaltending. We're going to need to be solid on the defensive side of the game. And when we get offensive opportunities, we need to score.
It's been at least, well, I don't know about home games and road games. You've had a red tie on for an awful long time. Anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not superstitious. I just believe in good preparation. And I happened to put a red tie on up at Duluth early in January, and I put it on after we lost the first game, and red's supposed to be a power tie, so Duluth doesn't have any red in their colors, and so I wore that red tie, and I don't know if it's a tie or not, but I'm not planning on taking it off right now. Been wearing it for a lot of games, and it's interesting. It was certainly tough to wear it at Miami. We're in their building and they got red on, and here's this Western coach coming across the ice with a red tie, and I got a few comments on that, but I'm not about to take it off right now. Fortunately, North Dakota is green, so be maybe a bit of a Christmas look, but to me, stick with what's working.
Well, Coach, I just have a question from Brad Schlossman from the Grand Forks Herald, and he was wondering what led you to pair up Ronnie Attard and Matthias Samuelsson, and what you've seen as to why they work so well together.
Brad Schlossman, I read his comments every day, and I always see if he's got any insights into how North Dakota's playing or what they might be doing, and again, as good as there is in the business on the media side. But Brad, we kind of wanted them to play them together earlier in the year, but either Matthias was out or Ronnie was out, and they're both big guys. They've got great reach. They can both really shoot the puck. I think they're 1 point apart in terms of offensive production this year as well. And we just think they're two solid guys, and put them together. And when you win more games than you lose, you tend to keep the same combinations together.
Broncos usually have a pretty good contingent of fans that show up for this series this weekend. Are we going to get to see some friends from Souris, Manitoba coming down?
There'll be some people from Manitoba between the Allison crew and the Murray crew. There'll be lots of Manitobans, and I may have to call Brad and see if there's some way he can get me some extra tickets or whatever, but they're pricey to buy up there. But trying to get hotel rooms and so on. And tried to get that all sorted out last week, so I didn't have to worry about it this week. But yeah, I mean, it's as close to my hometown and Wade's as you can get, and I expect there'll be a few Bronco fans there from Manitoba.
Josh, the Broncos with a tough split there against Minnesota Duluth. Obviously, the good fortune on Friday, and maybe a bad bounce on Saturday. What did you see between the two nights?
Yeah, no, I think we played well both nights. Obviously, a little more production. Getting a few more pucks to the net on Friday night allowed us to have a little bit more offensive success. On Saturday night, we knew they were going to come out hard, and I think we played them pretty even throughout the game. And yeah, third period, kind of tough bounce for us, but I don't think we generated enough shots in the game as we'd like to, and definitely want to improve on our performance from Saturday night.
Everybody talks about how tough the Ralph can be to play at. Teams you've been on have experienced quite a bit of success, obviously, and then the first program sweep up there last year. You had a big hand in that. So what is it like to play up there?
It's exciting. I mean, you can't really get a much better environment. I mean, besides here at Lawson, it's pretty incredible up in Grand Forks. Unbelievable building, and they have some passionate fans. So it's fun to play up there. We get fired up to play them. I think it's a special experience whenever you get to play at the Ralph.
I don't think you guys necessarily need validation from anybody outside of this building. But when you go back and forth with a team like Duluth, you get a team like North Dakota. Are these the chances that you get to prove yourself to everybody else?
Yeah, I think so. When you're playing against a team like Duluth, the stakes are heightened just based on national rankings or pairwise and where we're at in the conference standings. So when you get to play a team like Duluth and play them like we did this weekend, I think it shows the level that we know we're at and the level we know we can play at, but also other people can see it too.
There have been, sustained stretches of success over the last couple of years. There was a 10-game win streak. I think that was last year, maybe 2. Those in the past have been followed by levels of poor play. That has not happened this year. Why?
I think we're just a more experienced team. All the guys in the locker room have gone through those stretches of ups and then downs, and we know what we're doing when we're playing well and what we're not doing when we aren't playing well. And that's something that we've tried to hit on and just focus on the details. Our weeks have been pretty routine here for the past, actually after Christmas. So we're kind of in a routine and we're just going with the flow right now and focusing on the details and letting the other parts of the game take care of itself.
You think back to that first North Dakota series that you were right in that one game and obviously then the other one, but what do you see from them and maybe how have they changed since that point?
Yeah, well, they're obviously a very talented team. I think we match up against them well, and we showed that on Friday night. I don't know that we were at complete full health in that series. Not that that's an excuse, but it does make sort of a difference. The way we're playing now and the way they're playing now is pretty similar. They're a talented team, and we feel like we could play with anybody any night.